Welcome back to my channel in what looks to be a very, very good weekends of racing at Caulfeild. I was terrible last week, couldn't even tip a winner, very disappointing, and that doesn't help the fact that I generally do well at Flemington, but hopefully can bounce back this weekend with this weekend at Caulfeild. Let's get into the preview and let's find winners.
Race 1 at Caulfeild is a 3-year-old filly's handicap over the 1200 metres to start the day, and I'm with Unusual Culture. Kiramar David Hughes has trained this horse with Linda Meacham with 54.5 kilos. It's a very, very winnable weight, and I think this horse is just going to be too good for them. It's a New Zealand import. Has had 3 starts over there, and 1 on debut by Big Space, and then ran very gallant races in 2 Group 3 races. And like I said, I'm very, very keen on this horse, and I think can start the day off with the winner. She's all class for second. I think can run really, really well here. If she got back to her best, she could probably give the race a shake, though she does have to carry the big weight, though, to offset that does get Melbourne's superior jockey on at the moment in Jai McNeil, who looks very securing the premiership. And look, she ran in the Group 1 Flight Stakes, Group 2 T-Row, so she's had a bit of class about her. The stable must have thought something about her to run in those races. Chain of Lightning for third, 2 from 2, now with the Moody Camp, and Swerving for third. But I'm with Unusual Culture and race 1 at Caulfeild, $25 the win. Let's start the day with a winner. Race 2 at Caulfeild is a super focused 2-year-old handicap over the 1100 metres, and I'm with Ghaanati here. I'm not declaring it though because I'm very wary of South of Houston, but let's get into Ghaanati. 1 start for 1 win down the Flemington Straight was ultra impressive and blew its rivals away by 3.75 lengths. It was over the 1100 metres and was on soft ground, so 2 ticks. Gonna handle the conditions and gonna handle the distance. Query around Caulfeild band, but I don't think that's gonna worry it. It seems to be a good horse, and Brett Preble takes over. And I don't think that's going to be any issue. Now, the second horse I've got here is South of Houston. Now, this horse has tried like an absolute bomb, and I'm very, very wary of this horse. With 54 kilos on for Paddy Maloney, I am very wary of this horse. It's already been backed in from double figures to 950, and I think this horse is going to be going very, very close. She Dances for third. Is a very good horse, or has showed so. Winning on the heavy track at Sandown, 2 weeks between runs, is going to run well. And Cusack is way over the odds at $61, but I'm with Ghaanati, $10 the win, and 5 each way on South of Houston, the trial star. Race number 3 at Caulfeild is a Fillies and Mares Benchmark 84 handicap over the 1100 metres, another sprint race of the day, and I'm with Duchess at Dorset here. 4 from 8 with 2/3. Linda Meach aboard with a winnable weight. Was probably disappointing first up where she was odds on to win the race. But I'm going to be forgiving of that. Second up, 2 starts for a win. 2 starts on the soft ground for a win and a third. And 4 starts at the distance for 2 wins and a third. I think this horse is going to go very close to winning this. Only queries Caulfeild, but I think Linda Meach can get this home. And this horse is a front runner, and you can't get any better jockey for front runners than Linda Meach. Rainbiel for second. I'm surprised it's as big a price as it is in the market. It's got very good form. Loves Caulfeild. 4 starts for 2 seconds and a third. Soft ground. 5 starts for a 1, 2, 3. Distance. 6 starts for a win. 2 seconds and a third. Second up. Hasn't missed a place. At the current figure odds, I'm going to be having a little play on it. Teramia for third and Twist of Fury for fourth, both over the odds. But I'm with Duchess at Dorset in the third race at Caulfeild, $40 the win. Race number 4 at Caulfeild is a quality handicap over the 2,000 metres, and I'm with No Effort here. And I think it can win because it's got a tactical advantage over my second selection in Diagula, who I think can also win, but we'll get to No Effort first. It's going to be front running in the lead And that's how it won its last start, by going to the lead. Nothing else could catch it. Nothing had the turn of foot to catch it. Loves Caulfeild, loves soft ground, and loves this distance. And has been a winner at Caulfeild of a stakes race over this distance. Won the Heatherly over this distance, if I'm correct. Diagolo for second, yes, was disappointing last week at at Flemington, but is on the backup. And like I said, know if it's going to have a tactical advantage over the horse, but if it's right and it can show its turn of foot, I think it can definitely win. Excelleration for third at $6.50, minorly over the odds on Pancho. If he shows his best, $12 looks a good price. But I'm with no effort, $30 a win and $10 the win on Diagolo if he can show his best and his turn of foot. Race 5 at Caulfeild is a benchmark 78 handicap over the 1600 metres, and I'm with one of my best bets of the day. Extreme best bets of the day in Chief Altony. I think this horse just simply wins. He's a one start at Caulfeild for nothing, but look, he's been in such rare form. He's never missed a placing over this distance of 1600 metres. He loves soft ground, 1 from 6 with 4 seconds, so a bit unlucky there. And behind Visionary 2 weeks ago at Sanya, that horse came out and ran second on the back at the Tuvalu, who found its best. The form line's good, and I think this horse will just simply win. Good and proper for second here. I do think is way over the odds, considering that she's going to appreciate soft ground. 5 starts for 2 wins in a second. Caulfeild form doesn't read too well. 7 starts for only 2/3, but enjoys the distance. 6 starts for a win, second and third. And third up, this is key. Third up, 3 starts for 2 wins. So finally going to start showing some form at $14 with Jacob Opperman's Claim. Looks a very interesting price. 5th position for third, Lyrical Lad. Back to 1600 metres, I think is a good chance. But it's probably lengths off my top selection. But I'm with Chief Altony in the 5th, $60 the win. Race 6 at Caulfeild is a Super Vobis 3-year-old handicap over the 1000 metres for the speedsters here. And I'm with Inundation here. 3 starts for 2 wins and a second. Winning its past 2. John McNeil on 54. Sounds like a win for me. Gets a tongue tie for the first time, so that's going to be going to help the horse. 2 from 2 at the distance, 1 from 1 on soft ground. Mick Price, Michael Kent Jr. trained. It'll win. Bolts in for mine. Squid Game for second. The reason this horse is in odds on is because Squid Game's in the race. Paddy Payne trained horse that's only going to be carrying 51 kilos, and that's important. Only carrying 51, so can give Inundation a race. And has had 1 start on soft ground for a third, and hasn't run anything less than. Hasn't run the 11,000 before, all racing being over 1100 metres, and has never been to Caulfeild before, but was very impressive in its first 2 runs, and hasn't been disappointing since. Starry Legend only knows one way: go to the front and bowl along, and set a good solid clip, and Fly On By is over the odds at $31, but I'm with Inundation, $35 the win. Race 7 at Caulfeild is a benchmark 84 handicap over the 1200 metres, and I'm with the speedster here in Arran. Has to carry the big weight, but I don't think that's going to concern this horse. Is elite at Caulfeild. 6 starts for a win, a second and 2/3. Distance over the 1200 metres has had 9 starts for a win and 4 seconds, and on soft ground 3 starts for a second and a third. They weren't going to put anybody else but Matt Cartwright on, and they had to with the weight, and he does take a lot of weight off. And with 60 kilos, I still think that it can win. And off its Topaz run at Swan Hill, man, $7 is over the odds. Designer Chef, for second, I do think is over the odds, considering he's trialled well, but still has to bring it to race day. Though he will enjoy the soft going and loves this distance, and is very good first up. 3 starts for a win in a second, and at 21s, he is over the odds. Skywolf is the form horse, and probably deserves to be favourite, and he is. 4 starts for 2 wins and a third at the distance. 3 starts for a win and a third on soft ground, and has won his past won his first 2 starts of the preparation, failed, and then won again. 54 kilos for Tommy Stock, that looks interesting. And Sam's Image, if he shows his best, can be right up there. But I'm with Karen in the 7th. Race 8 at Caulfeild is a Super Vobis 3-year-old handicap over the 1400 metres. And this horse, Jimmy the Bear, way over the odds at $13 when it's past 2 for T.O. Nugent. And I think can win again, despite having to carry top weight. Deserves to, as he's won his past 2 at Flemington. Comes to Caulfeild where he's only had 1 start and didn't get a place. And failed in the Vobis Gold Dash. But though, that was over an unsuitable trip. But to the 1400 metres here, I think he's going to be very hard to beat. Won his past 2, like I said. T.O. Nugent sticks with him. Loves the distance, 4 starts for 2 wins in a second. And loves soft ground, 3 starts for 2 wins in a second. All points to him winning. Daytona Bay for seconds, 2 from 2. 1 from 1 on soft ground. Hasn't run the 1400 metres, but Peter Moody knows how to train. And Blake McDougall to ride with 54 kilos. Cardinal Gem for 3rd. No luck, it's past couple. Though, soft ground, 1400. Caulfeild, maybe, but 310 is too short. And Arran Bay for 4th was very good in closing behind Jimmy the Bear at its past runs. But I don't think it's going to be anywhere near this stuff. But anyway, race 8, the winner, Jimmy the Bear. Race 9 at Caulfeild is a benchmark 84 handicap over the 1400 metres to round out the day. And I think the horse in this race that is way over the odds is Air Beyond at $31. That is a definite price that interests me, considering second up he's 2 from 3, soft ground 3 from 5, and at the distance he's had 4 starts for a win and a second. And you've got to remember, he was only first time racing in Victoria at Swan Hill, and he probably ran a little bit of a disappointing race considering well, not really. I mean, he was ready to $26 shot on that occasion. He ran 8th, which was a good run. Alana Kelly jumps aboard this horse, takes weight off, and he gets a blindfold on, which is very interesting for the first time. And at $31, I think he's over the odds, and he's my tip in the race. He's our Bonneval for second. Obviously brings a rightful Inuit from overseas in Great Britain, and he will be right up there. And he is gelded, so he could blow this field away first up. But the record first up, 2 starts for a third, doesn't read too well, and has 55.5 for Craig Newell. I'm not potting him. He is a chance, but I think Ambion at the price is going to be too good. Palanca and Bam's on fire, both over the odds, $13 and $17 respectively. But I'm with Ambion in the last. The roughie to round out the day, $10 each way. Thanks for watching the preview for Caulfeild Racing this weekend. I hope you've enjoyed it. I hope I found you some winners. I hope you backed some winners. So thank you, and I'll see you next week.